Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm going to show you another tag team supporter card. It's not been very long at all since I showed you red and blue tag team, a new supporter card, which is also a tag team card. It's a bit weird. And now I've got another one to show you. It is Cynthia and Caitlin Tag Team GX. And just as a little bit of a side note here, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this because I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least the first time that I can remember two artists being credited for one card. Because you've got the Ken Sugimori artwork for Cynthia, but you've also got the Yusuke Omura artwork for Caitlin. Cool, right? That's just a nice little note here. So, it is a tag team supporter. It does essentially two things if you want it to. What does it do? Well, the first part of it lets you put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. You cannot choose Cynthia and Caitlin, or the card you discard with the extra effect. More on that in a moment. And the extra effect, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. This does not seem quite as over-the-top broken as Red and Blue Tag Team. Red and Blue Tag Team, I'll pop a link to that one in the description, genuinely did seem like dumb. Proper over-the-top dumb good. This, I don't think, is in the same league. But just because it's not in the same league as a card which I think might be legitimately broken, doesn't mean it's not a good card. This is a good card. And it's kind of, not entirely, but it's kind of a mix between Lusamine and Hau. Now, the Hau part of it is exactly the same, except for the fact that you have to discard a card from your hand. Hau just draws you 3 cards. Cynthia and Caitlin demand that you discard a card from your hand in order to draw 3 cards. Other than that, it's basically the same. Okay. The thing is, you're also getting a supporter card back. And this isn't as good as Lusamine, right? Lusamine, you put 2 in any combination of supporter and stadium cards from your discard pile into your hand. This just puts a supporter card into your hand. This is significantly weaker than Lusamine, and that's not some kind of opinion. It is objectively significantly worse than Lusamine. Because instead of getting 2 cards back, you get 1. Instead of choosing either supporters or stadiums, it's only supporter. But you also get to draw 3 cards. And I think that's one of the amazing things about this. I mean, there's many amazing things about this, to be honest. But one of the amazing things about this is the fact that you're drawing cards while recovering the supporter. One of the awkward things about Lusamine was always the fact that you weren't drawing cards. And so you had to do it on a turn where you didn't need anything else. Oh, what's that? You need a supporter for next turn? Yeah, well, that's all right. Lusamine will grab it. Need an energy for next turn? No, we ain't got your back, mate. Oh, you need an evolution card or an item card or literally anything that isn't a supporter or a stadium? Yeah, sorry. We can't actually help you with that. Here you get that supporter card back while drawing 3 cards. And this is one of those weird cards where both of the things it does are underpowered and a bit bad. If you just want to draw 3 cards, Hau is better. If you just want to recover supporter cards, Lusamine is better. If, however, you're in the mood for doing both, then all of a sudden this is like a flat-out phenomenal card. And that's why you play this. You play this because it is the combination. And it is just like any other supporter card. As I mentioned in the red and blue video, there's no extra rule here. There's no one of each in your deck rule like we've seen with Prism stars, like Lysander, for instance. It's just an ordinary supporter. You can recover it with Power Pad. You can play Lieutenant Surge's strategy in order to play 2. Now, Lieutenant Surge's strategy is particularly good with this, just like it was for Lusamine, in that you can essentially play this, draw 3 cards, and then play the supporter card you just picked up using this. Pretty gosh darn good. It means in the expanded format, you are welcome to use Tapu Lele in order to search it out, but even in standard, we've got that Mewtwo that puts a supporter card from your discard pile on top of your deck, and you can get it back with this as well. And ironically then, you can draw 3 cards with this to pick up the supporter card you just put on top of your deck to get it right back. This is phenomenal. Like, one of my favourite uses for this is just getting back a Lieutenant Surge's strategy while drawing 3 cards and just setting yourself up for a great turn next turn. And I cannot overstate how great it is that you are getting 3 cards while recovering a supporter. That really is the big thing here. You are not sacrificing your draw power. Now, one thing I find very interesting, we've only seen 2 tag team supporters. The other tag team supporter we've seen was Red and Blue, and Red and Blue lets you search your deck for a GX and evolve one of your Pokemon, and then if you discard 2 cards from your hand, you get to attach 2 energy from your deck, 2 basic energy. This is also discarding cards, so I'm thinking here that that's the gimmick of tag team supporters. Tag team GXs, the general rule is, if you have extra energy attached, you get to do extra stuff. So if we look at Latios and Latias, for instance, just a nice excuse to mention Baby Daisy's spirit Pokemon, if I'm honest with you. That's my main reason for choosing this one as an example. You've got your usual tag team attack, or your usual GX attack, 1 psychic energy, and you attach 5 basic from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. But if you've got an extra energy attached, you prevent all effective attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, during your next turn. That's kind of cool. Here, it seems to be discarding cards from your hand. And sometimes discarding cards from your hand can be bad, but sometimes it can be good. We've got Pokemon like Malamar and Naganadel that want to have energy in the discard pile. We've got Pokemon like Zoroark that wants to have Pokemon in the discard pile. But then you've also got stuff like Miss Magius or an expanded Oranguru that draw up to a certain amount of cards in hand. So what you can essentially do here is empty out your hand a little bit so that you can draw more cards. Now that gets a bit awkward with this one because of course you're emptying your hand and then immediately drawing 3 cards, but you're still going to end up with fewer cards than you did, so you empty out your hand a little bit so that you can potentially draw more later on. Kind of cool. Incidentally, one of my favourites, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to pop it into a deck, but don't sleep on the new Dedenne that just came out in Unified Minds. For a single energy, it does 20 damage and lets you draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. It's actually kind of cool, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kind of a fan of this Dedenne. So discarding cards from your hand is not always a terrible thing. I like this, but I don't see it as essential. With Red and Blue, I said, look, if you're playing a Stage 1 GX deck, you need to be playing this. And something like Weavile, utterly broken with it, but then you can even look at stuff like Altaria and it looks really good. I do not feel that way about Cynthia and Caitlyn. I think it is a good card. I think it will see play. I think it is a worse Lusamine stapled onto a worse Hau. Although Lusamine and Hau does not have quite the ring of Cynthia and Caitlyn. Also, while we're here, right, Cynthia shuffles your hand into your deck and draws 6 cards, which is nothing like what this does. We haven't had a Caitlyn for a while, but we had one in Plasma Blast. Put as many cards in your hand as you like on the bottom of your deck in any order, then draw a card for each card you put on the bottom of your deck. You actually end up with 1 fewer card because you played Caitlyn. That's not what this does, even. It should be Lusamine and Hau Tag Team GX, but I digress. I like it. I think if you want to recover supporters while drawing cards, it's really good. I don't think it's a great draw card. I don't think it's great supporter recovery. I think we have better options for both of those things. But I think that there will be times you can do both of these in one, and under those scenarios, yes, I think they're going to be good. But I would very much like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know. Oh, wait, no, wait. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. We also don't end the video without giving a Wassie score. That would just be rude. Now I'd like to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.